Buckeye Empire film session number 7. The Bucks are officially 6-0. I don't know what that means. Could mean a division title. Could mean an undefeated season. Some people would argue that it means nothing because we're ineligible. And I would say that unless you're from Northwestern Indiana, you probably can't spell ineligible. And we'll be laughing as we beat every other team in the Big Ten, making you guys all look like idiots. After a complete ass-kicking of Nebraska, the Buckeyes have taken over number 8 in the AP rankings, taking over Michigan's spot from the preseason, showing exactly how much those preseason rankings actually mean. This week we play Indiana, which brings up the age-old question of, what the fuck is a Hoosier? Before we get to the Hoosiers, I'd like to jump straight into Michigan. Now, they somehow became ranked again, number 25 in the poll, even though they're only 3-2, with key wins against UMass, which I don't really ever trust ESPN for anything, but UMass is ranked as the worst team in the FBS, barely beating Air Force, and with a key win against Purdue, while a team like Penn State, whose team should just be in ashes, is 4-2 and has better wins than Michigan. I don't know if that's some sort of bias towards Penn State. Obviously, these guys didn't do anything that are on the Penn State team now. The coaching staff that's there didn't do anything. So I don't know why Penn State isn't ranked above Michigan, but somehow Michigan squeaked its way back into the rankings. Good for you guys. It's about time. Back to Nebraska for a minute. I had to deal with Nebraska fans all over our website the entire week because of Dan's 10 Things I Hate About Nebraska post, talking about sportsmanship and not bad-mouthing the other team and being good sports and whatnot. But then their kicker goes out and decides that he's going to kick off practice during Script, Ohio, basically the most nationally known banned thing ever besides Cal and Stanford. So, yeah, to your sportsmanship, Nebraska, I hope you were treated well at the game and whatnot, but it's all a crock of shit. So maybe that whole sportsmanship 101 post that you guys basically put all over our website could be transferred to the chalkboard in your locker room. ESPN is doing a phenomenal job of reporting, as always, with 3 separate stories about how we're playing Texas in the year 2022. Now, personally, I don't know about you, but I really don't care that in 10 years we're going to be playing Texas. We just played them, no more than 5 years ago. This isn't huge news. I don't know why it's such a big story. Yeah, we're playing Texas in 10 years. Great. Not that worried about it. And just to knock on the SEC a little bit, it was nice to see LSU losing as well as Georgia losing, which it's the middle of the season. They're highly ranked. So really, that's kind of to be expected with their track record. On to the Hoosiers and that age-old question. If you have an answer about what you think a Hoosier is, post it in the comments below. See if it gets some replies. I'd like it if we had a thumbs up, thumbs down system, but we don't on our comments section. I apologize for that. But personally, my stance on what a Hoosier is, as far as their athletic department goes, is that it's actually a Buckeye who's helping out other people. Just a very generous Buckeye. Because if you think about it, their entire sports history revolves around the Buckeyes. Anything that's positive, at least, you have their basketball team, Bobby Knight, Buckeye. You have Lee Corso coming in and coaching and going up on us 7-0 and having a picture taken that was then put on the front of their programs. 2 positive things in Indiana sports history. I didn't look up anything else. I really don't think it exists, all due to the Buckeyes. So my definition of a Hoosier is a very, very charitable Buckeye. So for that, I guess, hey, you guys can thank us later. And as for the 17-point spread, I would say if last Saturday is any indication, that will be crushed by Braxton Miller, Carlos Hyde, maybe Jordan Hall if he's back. But it's looking like, I would say 63 is a solid goal again. For my final point here on Buckeye Empire Film Session, I'd like to bring up the fact that Jerry Sandusky was sentenced to no less than 30, yet no more than 60 years in prison, with the judge basically saying, I could have given you a lot more time than I did. Personally, with Sandusky being 68 years old and 30 years being the minimum sentence, I would love for him to live to age 98 so that he can walk out of that jail cell only to have the next judge tell him, no, you got 30 left. Embrace the hate.